knife like I need a wife.
Hey everybody, welcome to the program, Sports Program with Derek and Zach, Home Run Jack. We're a show and we're live on Saturday, and we've always have been, and it's never been any interruption. We've been really consistent with it this entire time. Music brought to you by Jody and the Fosters. A good friend of ours is in the band, and they're excellent. Thank you, Jody and the Fosters, for providing music. We just got permission for that today. They're excellent.
Sports program. Always get permission.
Always get permission.
We've always said that. That's always been our catchphrase, and we've never taken a week off.
Yes means yes and no means no.
We've never taken a week off, and Sean's always been on the show.
It's never not been a thing.
We should take the old image and add him to it. Exact same logo, but just Sean's face is now all of a sudden behind both of us.
I love it.
It's very doable.
You know what? It does say live on YouTube too, so we must be on everything.
I think we're live on YouTube.
Yeah, it is, because I'm at YouTube right now, and
That's
it's live.
So the new addition is that we have this song, but definitely not that Sean has. He's been on the show the whole time.
Yeah, new song, same Sean.
New song, same.
And that's just so Sean of him.
Thank you, Jody and the Fosters. Oh, I'm supposed to also say, go out and like the Jody and the Fosters Facebook page, please, and thank you. They're an excellent band. They're here from Lewiston, Idaho. This is the fun thing about this show right now, is that none of us are in the same city. We are live on Zoom. Zoom.us, everyone. Use it for your podcasts. I'm looking for some of that Zoom money, you guys.
Are we going to split it 4 ways?
Well, yeah.
I'll Venmo you.
Who's the fourth? Your aunts?
Yes.
I need money to take care of my aunts.
Oh, yeah.
Were you trying to say your aunt? No, my aunts. I have aunts.
They're
My
doing
aunt.
fine. Listen,
My aunt.
I'm going to like the Jody and the Fosters.
Do it. Do it right now.
I'm actually
Like,
pissed out.
subscribe. That's what you do. I always tell girls to like and subscribe, but they never do.
Yeah. And Cody actually sent us 2 songs. So we have an intro and an outro, basically.
That means we have an intro and an outro, or just another one for next week, because we're always here every Saturday.
Yeah.
Never happens.
Also, if any other of one of our friends who's in a band wants us to play their songs for an intro, please, by all means, send us a link to your music and we will play it.
Yeah, send it. If it's not bad, we'll probably play it.
Yeah.
If it's bad, we'll just be like, hey man, sorry, we got a lot of bands already that people have sent us, so we'll get to it. So if you hear that excuse, you know that we did like the song.
Yes.
No, we just have like a bunch already on the queue. So
what does the YouTube channel say our show is called?
Stranger Show.
Ugh,
that's
I'm gonna
wrong.
Fix that.
Well, that's not accurate.
No.
But, I mean, we can talk about that stuff.
It's all right.
If you want to talk about stranger stuff, that's fine. It's your choice.
Yeah, I can actually fix it right now, I think, but I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I have to figure it out. But no, I'm excited that we're on the show this week. We are actually in 3 different locations: Lewiston, Idaho, Boise, Idaho, and where in Oregon?
Roseburg. Well, Green,
Oregon.
Green, Oregon.
Good old Green Oregon.
Nice, very nice.
We're going green. I have electric lawnmower.
Whoa.
What?
Do you just like plug it in?
No, battery powered, baby.
Oh, you don't have to like plug the battery in?
Well, I guess, I have to charge the battery.
Yeah. I think that's what I meant.
Well, that's the thing, is there was an option, $100 less, and you literally had a plug-in one.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid the extra cash to get the battery.
You just use like a micro USB?
Yeah, that's it. And I actually charge it through my computer.
Yeah, you just plug it in through the Thunderbolt cord.
Yep.
And then it works good. So we're a sports show. We're going to talk probably some sports at some point.
I doubt it.
I'm glad we didn't take a single weekend off because we didn't miss anything at all. Like the Super Bowl.
Not even a little bit.
We didn't miss the Super Bowl. No other big events in sports happened at all during this couple-month hiatus that we didn't take. But this is exactly the time of year where I actually start watching college basketball. I know some people watch the whole season, but I do not. I start watching right now because I don't want to completely go into filling out my bracket blind.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Last year, you just filled one out, though, right? Is that what you do most years? Just fill out a bracket, didn't watch any games?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Well, there's so many games.
Well, that's true. Like, there's no way you can watch every single team that's going to be in the tournament. But do you actually watch the regular season, or do you just, like, fill out a bracket, then start watching then when you're tracking your bracket, basically?
Yeah, I've never done a bracket.
Oh, really? You've never done a bracket? No one's talked you into doing a bracket?
Maybe this is the year.
That would be a good idea. I'll do a bracket with you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
They're mostly free unless like someone cons you into doing one of their. I've gotten conned into doing a couple of those like big money brackets, right? Where 2,000 people that all slightly know each other all pay like $10 per bracket, and you never win. I don't know whoever wins it, but
it's never you.
It's never been me. It's never been close to me. So
someone wins though.
Someone wins, and they probably win a good amount of money, and then I just feel salty because they're like, you can have up to 3 entries, so I obviously am going to pay for up to 3 entries, and I'm just giving my money away.
You don't need money.
Good, because I don't have it.
So I forgot about the future, you know?
You forgot about the future?
Well, I want to have the game up, right? The XFL game.
Right.
But I also want to see our stream.
So have you been watching every week of the XFL so far?
I have not missed a game.
A single game?
Nope.
Who's your team?
St. Louis Battlehawks.
Me too.
Yep.
It was easy. Tamu's my favorite quarterback in the league. It seems like Jones, their running back, who I believe played for the Redskins a couple years ago and wasn't bad. Like, he's probably the best running back in the XFL. So I don't know. And then their safety is going to be an actual, like, probably second or third round pick in the NFL draft. I don't know why he's in the XFL. So he's like a 21-year-old. He went to the University of West Virginia. Must not have been very smart. So he was academically ineligible to play this year. So he's just like, screw it. I'm going to go play in the XFL and make some money before the draft starts.
I hope it doesn't fail. I hope because here's the thing is I had a bunch of friends watch week 1 and they're like, these teams look like they're running through pudding. They look like amateurs. Well,
right.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of are. They're not.
They are kind of amateurs. Yeah.
And that's the point. It's no different than watching college football. Almost.
Right.
I like it. And I just don't and then every week the games have gotten more exciting and everyone looks better except for Matt McGloin.
Except for Matt McGloin, who is never going to look good.
Yeah.
But that's where they're successful this time and they weren't successful last time, is that they understand that, like, we still care about some of the players we liked in college football. So they're like, who are we going to make the stars of the league? It's Cardell and Landry Jones. So it's like, let's take 2 quarterbacks from college that people know they liked. They were successful in college. They might not have made it in the NFL, but hey, maybe they didn't. Personally, like, Landry could still play in the NFL. Like, the Steelers probably could have used him this year.
Oh, yeah. Boy, could they have.
Cardell was just in a crappy situation in San Diego, LA, excuse me. He was in a crappy situation for the Chargers because he was behind Phillip, and they wanted a veteran backup for Phillip because he's a veteran. So they got Tyrod Taylor. So it was like he was the odd man out. But I think Cardell Jones is an NFL caliber backup at least. And McGloin's proven he's an NFL caliber backup. So I don't know. I think they're smarter this time about who they're having as the faces of the league. One thing that is not a professional part about it is some of the jerseys and team names.
Oh, so I don't have a team yet, but I have ruled out some of the teams I am not going to like based on their team name alone.
Good. Yes, ready to hear this.
I am not going to be a fan of the Seattle Dragons.
Good.
That's dumb. That's a dumb name from a dumb city.
And it looks like their jerseys look like if you went into Madden 2004 and created a team, and you created a team, and you get to pick through their template of logos and just like throw one on the helmet. Did you guys ever do that when you were kids?
Oh yeah.
Madden, you could create a team, and you could be like, I want to be the Dragons, and then
And that's what it's from, right?
well, I thought so. I thought it was like a nod to. There's an old thing called the NFL Europe. Did you guys ever watch NFL Europe? NFL Europe was like 8 teams that, like, the Barcelona Field Dragons literally had like the exact same scheme, right? Stupid green dragon on the helmet, like, looked terrible. But
I don't know why you picked that color palette. Like, you have a dragon is freaking cool,
right?
But your colors are awful.
Well, isn't Seattle doing the exact same thing with the Kraken, right? Like, they're going to be the Krakens for hockey, chances are.
Are they? You think?
I think so, and I think they're going to use that stupid highlighter green again.
Why?
And, like, why highlighter green? I just don't get that. And also, like, I don't know if anyone's going to take a team called the Kraken seriously.
I mean, if they don't give you a complimentary Kraken rum bottle when you go to their games to black
like the little dollar one that he won.
Yeah, I don't. Then why? Why even go?
Why even go? So, not the Dragons. What about the Vipers? You like the Vipers, Derek?
No, I do not. I think that name is equally stupid.
Right.
And the best part is both of their colors are equally awful.
Yeah. No, they're terrible.
They're neck and neck for the worst colors.
Well, and what's interesting also, maybe it's like they couldn't get like, I wouldn't want to go there if I was a player because I couldn't take myself seriously, but they're the 2 worst teams. They are the 2 worst teams in the league.
Yeah. Yep, they are.
Like, they had to play each other, which is like, what was that? Is that last week they played each other?
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason one of them got a win, because they had to play each other.
That might have been the week.
Can either of you gentlemen tell me if the Facebook one is still working?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah, I don't have the internet capacity to check that.
I can't tell. I simply just can't tell.
The one thing that I will complain about the XFL is it doesn't seem like any of the ESPN stuff on your phone really works for it. So you're like, oh, I want to see how this guy's stats are so far in the game, because that's what I do when I'm watching a game. I'm like, I want to check in on this other game and see how, not McGloin is doing, like anyone else but McGloin.
Right.
But I just want to see how bad he's doing, right? So, but if you click on a game, it doesn't take you to the box score like any other sport.
Mm-hmm.
Any other sport, you click on the game and here's everyone's stats. ESPN for this, it's just like, no, deal with it. Like, you don't get a no. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely, no, it hasn't worked. It hardly works.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, I actually, there's not even a standings. There's not even a standings tab. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to check the records real quick so we can talk about the records. Can't do it.
No.
I don't know.
Nope, can't do it.
I think Fox has done a better job with it so far, but also Fox is like really pushing it. ESPN's kind of like, we have this, right?
Yeah.
We have this new sport. Fucking watch it if you want. I don't care. And then Fox is like, the XFL is great. Let's go. And then they have like, they've embraced gambling right off the bat too. They're like, download the app, bet on who's going to win. Like, that's what people miss about football, is they miss playing fantasy football, right?
Okay, so that the Facebook one's not working now.
It's not working?
No.
Okay.
That's fine. We got a YouTube.
The YouTube one is working.
Well, that's good. We can just share the YouTube link after the fact or whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Or we can try to get it back up. That's up to you guys.
I'm working on. I think it's making me do one or the other, so we're gonna do the Facebook one,
and not the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're sharing to the wrong thing, anyways.
Yep, that's why I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm fixing it right now. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay.
I sent the link to my buddy, and he's like, it was live and it stopped.
So. We're fixing it right now.
Cool.
It's gonna be all right. I learned a lesson. This is the first time I'm doing this today, so this is like a test. Little test running here.
What I'm gonna do for the Spotify is I'm probably just gonna chop it.
Yep.
There's a little spiel we did about Pornhub before the whole thing started that I'm definitely starting it off with.
Yep. Love it.
Because Sean said some really funny stuff about jizz. So
About jizz?
He's about jizz.
What it sounded like you said.
I don't even remember what I said.
I like the idea of like getting all timid about he's about jizz.
Well, it's just life. That's the thing, though. The things that the ants eat, it looks like jizz.
They're probably eating your jizz.
Maybe.
Every time. That's what's attracting the ants in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Is he just the loads that I
They're like, wow, this dude drinks a lot of Guinness, and boy, is it tasty.
There we go. It says live on Facebook now. It's working.
Oh,
now.
yeah, it says live on Facebook now. So, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. It's like one or not the other. But once again, like I was saying, I don't think we go for streaming live on YouTube. What we do on YouTube is I take my recording and upload it.
Yep. I think so too.
And then it gives you the tools to be your own boss.
Yep. I think you're right. And I'll give you all the access to that. Actually, you might already have all that.
What does Ernie Hudson say in Ghostbusters?
What is he saying?
We got the tools and we got the talent.
That's right. That is true.
Nailed it.
I think you nailed it.
Nailed it. This is better now. We're live on Facebook. We had Jody and the Fosters for an opening song. It's gonna be the real deal. And then Zach will upload this to.
It's gonna be the real deal.
Yeah.
I just hope you know it's gonna be the real deal.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
I'll just call this part 2. XFL continued.
So not the Dragons, not the Vipers.
Yeah, Derek, are there any that you take serious?
Where are the Wildcats out of?
LA?
Okay. Oh, okay. I like the Wildcats name.
I came into this liking the DC Defenders. When before the season started, I was like,
Defenders
wow,
is cool.
uniforms are clean. I like Cardell Jones. They play in like a stadium that they actually fill, which a lot of the other teams don't, except for St. Louis does a good job. But St. Louis actually won me over with like the product they put on the field. I like their quarterback a lot. I like some of the young guys they have on the team. Like it seems like there's some players on that team that are going to be NFL players.
Yeah. Well, some of them have already been, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
That Spruce guy, how is he? He's awesome.
Well, and like I was saying earlier, their safety is going to be an NFL player. He's just 21 right now and wasn't very good at college. So,
wait, are we talking about the Wildcats still, or are we talking about?
What about the Wildcats? Were you just saying?
Well, Spruce, that receiver, Spruce, and then I mean, obviously Johnson, who's played for everybody in the NFL. He's obviously not that good. He's XFL good, but
yeah, but he was good enough to start some games in the NFL when starters got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. He played for San Francisco. He played for everybody. He's played for everybody. Was he the guy, or am I thinking of the wrong team, who Andrew Luck was vouching for to get him to play? Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Yep.
So he was like, "No, this guy's legit. You need to start him." Like he wasn't even going to be a starter.
Yeah,
in the crazy. XFL, and then
who's Landry Jones playing for?
The Renegades, which I hate their like whole thing, right?
I mean, color blue.
I like the color.
Yeah.
I was gonna start watching them based on him alone, just because I feel like I have a personal interest because he was a Steeler, so I wanted to see how he was gonna do as a Renegade. Based on the fact that the Steelers had 2 trash quarterbacks playing this year. I mean, at least Hodges is a crappy person. And I'm not saying that what's his face said anything racist or Mason Rudolph. I don't. I'm just saying that Hodges at least seems like a nice guy.
Duck.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on the show well, we've always been consistent, but
every Saturday.
What we probably talked about it last week when we were definitely on air.
Yeah, but I said before that I think Mason Rudolph he seems like a douche, and so I wasn't a fan.
It's his hair and his face.
It's the hair.
It's his hair. It's his face. It's what he says, but also what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
who he is as a person. It's just that, though.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
didn't
everything.
like him in college.
no.
Wherever
Anyone
he-
who goes to Oklahoma State,
That's it. That was it.
Fuck 'em.
That's the college.
And and Ben, like Big Ben is kind of a prima donna. Like, we know how Ben is. And so when he didn't like they picked up Mason Rudolph, it was like, you can't read everything that Ben says as like a foretelling of the future. But at the same time, he did say like, hey, why do we waste a draft pick on this kid? Like, we should have got more.
yeah, we need people who can help the team, not a backup quarterback. And it did seem like he was being a little salty, but now I kind of get it.
Yeah, me too.
Not only that, but they had other people like, once again, Landry Jones, Dobbs. Just like, I understood. I guess I understood if they thought Mason was going to be the guy. Getting rid of Dobbs this year made sense.
Yeah,
But
except for Dobbs would have been nice this year. Honestly, even Paxton. I mean, we picked up Paxton Lynch. I would have been fine seeing him.
I'm surprised he didn't get any play.
I was as well.
He was from the Broncos, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, a former
did you guys
first-round
have
pick, you think you would give that guy a chance over
Yeah,
Duck Hodges.
You guys had him for a little bit?
yeah. They think they still have him on the practice squad.
He's a practice squad. First
Yeah,
rounder who's a practice squad quarterback.
The mighty has fallen.
They picked him up. When was it, Zach? I mean, they picked him up pretty late in the season.
Yeah, I don't think there was enough time for him to learn the offense. But basically, there's like people who are pretty in tight with what's his name, John Elway, right? And the word on the street is that John Elway was like, man, we fucking missed with this draft pick. Like, just openly admits like that was exactly a wasted pick to take Paxton Lynch in the first round. So maybe the talent's there. It's just apparently it's pretty obvious he's not an NFL quarterback. But maybe he'd be a great XFL quarterback. It was P.J. Walker, by the way, that was the former Colts backup quarterback who Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett both vouched for to get him a starting job. So he's the Houston quarterback.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's balling out. That dude is probably like stolen the show.
Dude, that Battlehawks game, man, he was destroying my heart.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that I think is interesting: how fast people who like the XFL have actually like gotten in sync with liking their team. Like, we already care about the Battlehawks.
Yeah. Well, so my buddy Patrick, he went and bought the season home tickets for the Dragons in Seattle.
Yeah, it's like what? It's not that. It's like $500 for a season.
It wasn't very much, no. I mean, and I mean, he asked me if I wanted to, go to a game with him, and I probably would go, except for I wouldn't root for the Dragons because that name is fucking stupid.
Well, they should have been the Seattle Pendragons, and they should have just had like Excalibur sword as their.
Oh yeah, that'd been cool.
Yeah.
It's too bad though. It's it'd be different if the dragon was like, if it looked, I don't know, like if the colors were more dull, but the fact that the jerseys are so bright, it just looks so stupid. Honestly, it looks exactly what Zach was saying. It looks like you created a team in Madden.
Yeah.
04.
Not even a new one.
No, it just looks bad.
So, I don't
have a team yet, but I'm just watching.
I hope you should just do what you did with your basketball team.
Yeah, I should have the listeners, our supporters, our athletic supporters,
who have never disappeared. They've never wavered.
Who've never went away. Ever,
They've been here the entire time, like we have.
Just like we have. Have them choose a team for me.
Or you could just be a St. Louis Battlehawks fan.
Yeah, because we already are.
You know what? I think that's the official team of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We're a Battlehawks family, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just zoomed into Facebook here. Jesse Knight is now watching. Quick shout out to Jesse Knight, who I believe won the Pigskin Pick'em.
Ooh.
He'd have to let us know. He's going to be the only person who actually knows who won that, by the way.
Except for that we've been on there this whole time.
I mean, I could probably just look, right?
Yeah, we could all easily look. We're all literally on the internet right now.
I'm not.
As you guys know, I'm a famous YouTuber.
Yeah, you are famous, yes.
I have 2 cell phones.
Oh, wow.
You got 2 phones.
You're
like one of them rappers.
Connected to a provider and one is not, but I have 2.
One's just for on the Wi-Fi.
Well, I like to have it during fantasy football season because I use Yahoo and ESPN. Or no, NFL and Yahoo. So I like to have both my fantasies up.
I have two as well because I just obviously kept my last one when I got a new one.
That's exactly what.
And I use my old one still has the you can still use it as a TV remote, so that's why I keep it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those Huawei's, you know, the company that we're not allowed to have here anymore because they are from China and apparently they were spying on us through our phones the entire time.
They were?
Yeah.
China?
Yeah. Through Huawei, through the cell phone company Huawei, the third biggest cell phone company in the world.
I've never heard of that.
They're huge. They're big everywhere but here because we're not allowed to have them. But like if you watch like a European soccer game, they like sponsor the teams and they're huge. They're like right below Samsung for one of the biggest in the world, and they spy on you. So,
oh, okay.
Well, I don't like to be spied on.
I'm okay with it.
There's nothing to spy on for me.
If they
really.
if they want to see what's going on here, like I feel like I'm slowly taking down the country.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm hurting their eyes. That's for sure. Some of the stuff they've seen on that phone.
Is it? Well, is it your Pornhub?
That's what that phone is.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Well, I use so
pop it on the Wi-Fi. Just go to town.
So like,
Oh, good.
do you have a tablet?
No, I've been really wanting one.
You should get
just for that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. If you get your iPad and you get a sweet case, like a case where you can fold it and have it hands free. You have to hold your phone.
Oh yeah, that's like you know, like you're like, what hand do I use?
I have a couple different tactics I use, but
I've always thought my biggest concern has always been what hand do I use?
Well, that's just like you got to turn, and like what angle are you going to be at? You get comfortable.
Yeah,
we could XFL.
This is a whole show.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, here's my deal: is I watched this documentary about St. Louis. That place needs something, man. That place is. It's on Hulu. It's called Abandoned, and it's about this skateboarder goes to like abandoned malls. In St. Louis, it was about how many abandoned schools they have.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because that place was supposed to be like huge. People were going to live there, and then everyone just moved away. And it's so depressing, and they need something, and the Battlehawks are it.
Well, and they people showed up last week for that first home game, right?
Oh yeah, it was massive, man. It was crazy. I mean, it was more explosive than Week 1 DC Defenders, and that game was huge.
And that game was massive, yeah, because those are like two communities that are just like really clinging to their team so far.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, honestly, that's what I was kind of like. I mean, I think it's cool Seattle got a team, but I was like, man, they do have a team. Like, yeah. I wish more cities that didn't have a team would have gotten something.
Idaho.
Like, Boise would have been great.
Yeah. I think people would have went to a Boise game. I would go down there for a Boise game.
The thing is they needed to pick places that already had the exact size of stadium.
Yeah.
They didn't want to build anything. They don't know if it's going to be successful. If the league expands, then yes, places like Boise probably will get a team.
Because they could use the Broncos stadium probably.
I mean, you could. None of them are using college football stadiums right now, though. They're all using soccer stadiums, basketball or soccer stadiums, baseball stadiums.
Are the Dragons using CenturyLink though?
Yeah,
I think they have to. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of other options in Seattle besides for the baseball stadium. Like
that's
they
kind
don't
of
really
impressive.
Have a lot of, minor league setup right now.
I think it's kind of impressive that they're using I mean, so it shows that XFL is not. I mean, the NFL doesn't view them as a. That's actually that might be why XFL might work. Honestly, it's because they're not. They're not a contender. They're playing in the spring. It's like a spring league. I think that we could see some rules get adopted. I like the kickoff.
I do too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
The kickoff so far, The two best parts about it are the kickoff and that you get to listen to the coaches talk to the quarterbacks.
Well, and did you see? So the one thing they changed. So from the last iteration of XFL, one of the things they changed is that they don't have like the. So they comment. They ask the players for comment right when they come off field, which is great. I actually really like that. But they don't have it playing through the big speakers in the stadium, which is what they did last time, which was not great. So like somebody would get injured, and then they'd bring him off field and be like, "So how are you feeling right now?" He's like, "Oh, my leg really hurts, and I'm hoping
My career's ended.
Yeah, I hope my career's not over."
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah. So yeah,
Riveting interview.
Yeah, great interview. I like that they're doing the interviews still with people coming right off the field, though. I mean, they're asking people like, "Man, how'd you feel after that sack?" Like, I mean, it's cool. I'm glad they're not playing to the big speaker. They seem to have a little more taste this time. They're not asking like recently injured players. I think in the XFL, the big game, they asked one of the quarterbacks that got pulled from the game because he was so terrible, and they interviewed him right away. And it was just, oh my God. If you get a chance, SB Nation does a really good little short documentary about the worst game in XFL history. I don't know if you guys have watched SB Nation on YouTube, but they have a great channel.
Mm-mm.
But they have a series that's like the worst ever, and one of them is the worst ever XFL game, and it happened to be the big game, which is what they called their Super Bowl. Basically, it was like the big game or something like that. But it's one of the quarterbacks got pulled from the game, and they interview him right away, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel pretty terrible." It's so sad. It's such a sad thing. But from the XFL before, they adopted that the way the game was shot with cameras. They took that completely.
So
XFL got some stuff right before.
I got some people in I started a watch party on Facebook, and
nice.
One of my friends, he likes how it seems it's not as gimmicky as when it was the first time.
Oh, well, remember they didn't do a coin flip the first time? They sprinted to the fucking ball to figure out who got the ball first.
They did, yep.
I don't know why that left.
No, the idea of making like the two teams' fastest players dead sprint for a ball is actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
But
I think they also got rid of the guys could choose whatever name they wanted on their jersey. So
there's no "he hate me" anymore.
Yeah, no more. So it's a little more. It's a little more serious this time. They don't have good old JR as one of the announcers, which actually
the guy from WWE.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was one of the announcers in the original XFL, which actually I loved.
Well, now they have like legit.
No, they have real people. Yeah, it's a real thing now.
They have people they have like former like Sports Center guys and stuff like that.
It's a real deal. Like they're taking it. They're taking it really seriously. I think that the part that scares people is obviously we had like whatever, I can't remember what the league was last year that came and then fizzled out really quickly. And I think people are scared of that again.
The American Alliance Football. And
it fizzled so fast.
I watched a couple games.
Yeah, me too. I tried to get into it because very similar to this, they actually had players from college that I really liked, so I was interested to see how they do. And they also brought in some veteran coaches, very similar to like how the Renegades have Bob Stoops this year. It's just it's just more legit. I will say, back to McGloin, they actually have done an interview like that, by the way, Derek. McGloin got pulled in week 1 or week 2 this year.
Oh, yeah.
And they did interview him almost right afterwards, and he was definitely pissed off.
Well, that's what I was going to say also.
Okay, so I missed that. That's great.
I love when I like that they do that, but it's just so funny because some of the quarterbacks, like, you can tell they don't want to talk. That just got to execute the plan.
Yeah.
Got to play better.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should interview, but do it like one time.
Right.
Don't go back to them every.
Hey, do you remember how you're still doing bad?
Yeah.
Do Do you remember how the last time I interviewed you, you threw a pick and then you threw another one, so I came back and asked you about it again?
And I think if they're gonna ask those kind of questions after every series, they should ask questions like that or in that manner. Like, be like,
hey, do you remember how you weren't successful in the NFL and now you're not very successful here either?
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Jesse Knight says in overtime they're going to do the 5 chances from the 5-yard line shootout style.
That's awesome. I also want to know Jesse's opinion on the 1, 2, and 3-point conversion. Everyone just goes for 1 from what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
but
dude.
It's like another yard back to go for 2. What the hell are you doing? Like,
I just don't know why people aren't going for 3. Like,
in week 1, people were going for 1 and throwing slant routes. And I'm like, you're running that slant route. That's a long enough pattern to where another yard makes total sense to go for 2.
Yeah, that's weird.
I understand if you're going to do a run play. But I do not understand if you are throwing a pass to go for 1.
Well, and is there any new because the NFL is considering the on 4th down rather than instead of the onside kick, they're talking about going to the 15-yard line, making it like 4th and 20 or something, and giving them like 1 shot to convert. Has there been any more word on that? Or
no, that's not happening.
What about the weed?
Oh,
is weed legal now?
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
I thought I read
Is it
that.
legal in the XFL?
No, yeah, totally it is.
I thought it was funny that Johnny Manziel is still not playing in the XFL.
Well, he couldn't even make it in the Canadian League, so.
How many chances is that turd going to get?
No more. I think it's done. I don't even know. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about Johnny.
I hope he invested.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. He comes from, like, a rich family.
Oh, no, he's fine then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about Johnny Manziel is, like, he was, like, overprivileged too young, and so he was just along for the party the whole time.
Yeah.
But also he was never good, and he always sucked.
Yeah, well, being a Browns fan, yeah.
Part-time, full-time San Fran fan, part-time Browns fan.
Yeah, so I got another what would you guys think about the XFL being the NFL, kind of like how they have the MLB, AAA clubs?
I think that's what it's kind of becoming, and I think that's why they're on at different times. And I also think that's why the NFL is not going to be threatened by them at all, because it could turn into a very like lucrative farm system for them.
Yeah, I mean, if the NFL, if they could even get the NFL to maybe chip in a little bit and
like
join forces.
Yeah.
What is it? Matt Jones from Battlehawks, right there, our running back. Is it Matt? I can't remember his first name. He was a Redskin. He actually got some starts a couple years ago, and I think that he's already earned himself back a roster spot next season in the NFL just because of how he's played. I think the Renegades, besides for Dunbar, who's already gotten a few chances with the Cowboys, I think they have a couple running backs who will probably get another chance. And then Tamu, who has proven for the Battlehawks, he's probably a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Matt Jones, is that who we're talking about?
It is Matt Jones. That's what I was saying.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. Honestly, I mean, so I watched some minor league baseball, and I think it's a lot of fun. I love that the MLB invests in it, and they use it as a farm system. And I think the XFL could very much be something like that.
I'll be interested to see if they make it past one season. If they do they expand? Because then that's when maybe some of these other small market places that don't have an NFL team do get a team, round 2 next time through. And then 3, I want to see what stupid fucking names and jerseys they give them. Like, will they get better? Or are we just going to have, like, the Minnesota Lot Lizards?
I almost feel like I think a big part of it is that I feel like Vince McMahon doesn't have a huge hand in what's going on. I think that's probably why it's a little better this time, because I think he had too much into it the last time.
No, this is Archie Luck's baby, Andrew Luck's dad.
Yeah.
So that's also how PJ Walker got his job, is because Andrew Luck was like, yo, daddy, yo, daddy-o,
Yo, daddy-o.
Papa dad.
Yeah, we'll pay him.
Give him the job. He's like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, football. That's my Vince.
That's really good.
Yeah, they're gonna play football. Oh, look at them. They're big and they're sweaty. He loves big, sweaty men, man. That's his thing.
That's one thing that we for sure know about Vince. I don't know a lot about him. He's a mystery. But I do know that
what we do know about me is I love big, sweaty men.
Yeah, he likes huge nipples.
Well, who doesn't?
Big fan.
Big old
fan.
nips.
Big fan.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, did you see, before the season even started, we talked about it on the show before, but I mean, when they talked about what they're going to call it again, and he was still like, oh, we're still going to call it the XFL. It still sounds cool. Shut up. It still sounds cool.
The thing is it really doesn't. And it doesn't. Like, stupid. Extreme Football League they're never going to call it that ever again. They're never going to say it by its name, ever. They're like, what is the, like, if they're still going 4 or 5 years from now, they're going, what does the X stand for? They're like, oh, we don't talk about that.
I think Vince played NFL Blitz like one time.
And that's
like
where it
1995, and he was like, well, wouldn't it be cool if they did power bombs in football? These big, sweaty men.
Oh, my God.
Put the Undertaker out there.
I don't know if I like that.
He doesn't either.
He doesn't know.
He's not even there.
Whatever. I mean, it's at least kind of working so far. So
I think I do think it'll make it another season. Honestly, I also do think that if it does make another season, it will be because the NFL sees value in it, kind of like NBA G League. And they'll go like, man, this is a great farm system. We'll see some of these guys that didn't quite make it. I mean, the Steelers have a history of drafting guys in like late rounds and making stars out of them. Teams like that will look at the XFL. They'll see somebody playing right now, and they're like, yeah, this guy could probably play in our league. Let's bring him in.
Give him a shot.
And some of them really are. They're just literally using this as like extra play, right? Like some of these guys are NFL guys. It's not like they're completely done with their NFL career currently.
What if Landry Jones has a great season? Maybe he gets to play as a
so far, yeah, he's putting up numbers because he obviously missed week 1, but the last couple weeks he's put up numbers. But dude's still like same old Landry Jones. He's like guaranteed to pick a game at least. Like. That's what you're going to see, though, if you look at Landry Jones. You're like, wow, big, strong arm, looks like an NFL player, but he's just equally as bad as far as turnovers go.
He's old.
And now he's getting old. He's not young Landry Jones, which is obviously why the Steelers moved on. I think Cardell's got a chance. I think P.J. Walker's given himself a chance. Johnson's probably done. He's had 5 chances in the NFL. And then, like, Tamu is young. Our quarterback is young.
He's 22?
22, 23. So I think if anyone made the right decision by doing the XFL, it was him. He was like a guy who was never really given a chance. In college, at Ole Miss, he wasn't supposed to be the dude at Ole Miss. And then Shea, the guy who ended up transferring to Michigan, got hurt. He ended up coming in and just stealing the job from him. So he's never been a guy where wherever he was at, they go, this is the guy. He's going to be the guy. But he keeps earning it. And I think that's why he does so well in St. Louis. I think he's popular there because they're like, yeah, this dude just keeps proving himself.
Yeah. I like him, man. I like the football he plays. I like when he runs.
And he runs. That's the other thing is like that rushing touchdown, I think last week, the whole crowd was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Dude, that last week's game was just insane. The kick return, the other
the only kick return for a touchdown so far. I mean, it was cool to see because we didn't know with this new kickoff if that was even like possible.
Yeah.
With the way they line up. Like, can someone ever actually take this for a touchdown? We're probably not going to see it a lot, but it was cool.
People thought that you might see it more, but
because it kind of sets you up for blocking. Like, you're only 10 feet away from each other or 10 yards away from each other. So it's pretty easy to initiate those blocks, and maybe it opens holes. Mm-hmm. But I think it's cool.
Yeah, I've had a great time watching it overall.
I mean, I'm watching it right now.
You and your aunts?
Innovative.
Well, the ants are back here.
Well, are the
they
Ants
can't
one
see.
of the teams?
Yeah, the Sacramento Ants.
Sacramento. They need a football team.
Yep.
I didn't even know they were still a place.
Oh yeah, and
They have a basketball team.
No,
And
and
they-
actually, their basketball team, everyone's talking about the Pelicans swooping in to that nice spot. But the freaking Kings won again last night. Like, they're right there.
they've been pretty consistent the last.
And that, boys, is a segue.
It's a good segue.
basketball.
See what I did?
The Pelicans officially made it to the 9th seed as of right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
That's
still
all you
right
care.
above. They're still right above the Blazers. I still think the Blazers will get. I actually do think the Blazers will get into the playoffs. I think that the Grizz have definitely fell off where they were.
Yeah, I mean, now they're 3 games below 500. They still have the hardest remaining schedule out of all teams. Blazers have the easiest. Pelicans have the 3rd easiest in the entire league. So that'll get really interesting. They play each other multiple times, though. That's the real thing. Is it really doesn't matter who has the easier schedule. Who's going to win those head-to-head games? McCollum and Melo the last week have really put the Blazers on their back. But obviously, when Dame comes back, it's his team, and that's what they need. And then, what if they get
Collins and Nurk
back this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nurk will be back. I mean, it's a shame it's been so much later than what we thought. But I do think once he is back, that team changes completely because Whiteside's still great too, so he's a great number 2 in that spot. I think you get Collins in there. I mean, I do think they're in contention still.
Absolutely, and I don't know what Collins being back does to Melo because like they're going to play the same spot. Like stretch 4, obviously Melo's more of a stretch 4 with his shooting, but Collins is the starter. So do we see bench Melo or we just see starter Melo who plays less minutes? It could go either way. Either way, I like them more than the Pelicans as a team.
Blazers?
Yep, to take that spot.
Do you think Zion's obviously making the difference for them right now?
Yeah.
Now that he's playing, right?
The swing that they've made, I mean, at one point, I'm pretty sure they were like 19 games under 500. So the swing that they've made, and then the addition of him after they already started to turn it around, they look like a different team. So that's what a lot of people are talking about. Either the Blazers or the Pelicans, if one of those two teams get in, that's who the Lakers have to play in the first round. It's kind of not fair. I'm not saying it's not fair. Everything's fair. But it's going to be interesting that the 1 seed, the Lakers, are going to have to play a team that's way better than what seed they're at. Like the Pelicans are better than an 8 seed. The Blazers are better than an 8 seed. We saw what the Blazers did last year in the playoffs. And the Lakers are going to have to play them in the first round. That's tough.
Jazz 4th. I got a buddy saying Jazz 4th seed.
Yeah, Jazz are the 4. They've fallen apart, though. They don't have – going after Conley in the offseason sounded great on paper. That wasn't true.
I hate Utah.
They don't have a guard. They don't have a real point guard. Donovan Mitchell can only carry the team so much. Ingles he's a 3-and-D guy, true and true. I don't know. They made some great offseason moves, but I don't think the Conley one was one of them. They won't do anything in the playoffs. They'll be a 4 seed. They might win a first-round game, depending on who the 5 is. Probably not. They'll probably lose. They probably will lose. But if they make it past the first round, there's no way they're making it past the second. So
yeah.
Well, and I also I thought it was funny when Zion came back. You know, we heard a lot of stuff when he was injured. Like, is he going to get down in weight? By the way, the guy is not a pound less. Like, he's not even. He might be a pound heavier. Honestly.
That dude gains weight while he's on the court.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Just eating biscuits. He's just eating biscuits.
I don't think he can lose weight very easy, and I know that for the longevity of his career, that's what everyone says he needs to do. But right now, he's just bullying everyone. He's a 19-year-old bullying adults. Just let him keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I've always said it. Everyone knows this. Harder that dude goes up, the harder that dude comes down every time, and it's only going to last for so long.
Yeah. When he jumped up against LeBron in that Lakers-Pelicans game, it's like the only highlight I saw.
Right.
It just looked like him coming down just hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, and it's every game. Every single game, he lands at least once where you go, that's kind of scary if you're a fan.
Yeah, he's a big dude. And, I think it's at this point, You just let him play the way he's going to play. I don't think he's going to lose the weight you want him to lose. I don't know if he has a bunch of longevity on that career, but I mean, maybe he's like Brandon Roy, man. Maybe he has a good career for the time he plays, and he'll be a legend in New Orleans. And
I mean, or he hits his like mid to late 20s, and actually that's when he trims up. Like he worries about that.
And he could.
He's a 19-year-old kid. Like that's when people aren't really worried about cutting those pounds.
Well, look how leaned up Dwight Howard got. I mean, it can happen.
It happens. Every an NBA player eventually transforms into an NBA like body. Great example of that, actually. It's a kind of a no-namer, but Caleb Swanigan for the Blazers, who they've gotten rid of a couple times, but they just got him back from the Sacramento Kings because they don't have any other big guys. Dude, in like the 3 years he's been in the league, has completely changed from being an undersized, chubby center to being like a decently athletic three-point shooting guy who can get up and down the court. Like he's completely changed who he is, and that's only in 3 years in the NBA.
Just depends on the work you put in. I mean, I think you're right. I think Zion's 19 years old. That's the least thing on his mind right now is like, oh, I gotta cut some weight. Like he's had something that's worked for him in the last few years of playing professional caliber basketball. That's the least thing on his mind is like, oh, I got to cut some weight.
That Lakers game was super fun to watch though. So like, I know you always said you caught the highlights, Sean, but that game was nuts. Good. And what's crazy is like they have to do it again tomorrow. Like that just happened a couple days ago.
And they have to play again.
They play again tomorrow. And what's awesome is like LeBron balled out, right? Like he came and he was like, I'm going to show this motherfucker that this is still my league. And he did. He had like, people were like, he looks like he's 27, 28 out there. And he had to take the next like game and a half or 2 games off because he was like old man body afterwards. Like he just went too hard. He was like, he went drinking with the boys, He's like a 35-year-old who went drinking with his 20-year-old friends. And he ended up having to just lay down for the next 2 days. So yeah, he said he was injured, so he couldn't play the next game. But really, it was like, we know what he did. He went out there, pulled out that big old dong of his, and just slapped Zion across the face with it. And now he's going to do it again tomorrow. Like, he rested up until the next time that they played, and he's going to make another statement.
It was his plan.
It was his plan the whole time.
I don't know, man. I don't catch games because I don't have cable. I usually watch highlights and just keep track of scores. But
we use YouTube TV.
YouTube TV. We're looking for that YouTube TV money.
I felt like you were looking right at me, or were you looking at the people? I couldn't tell.
It doesn't matter.
Zoom. YouTube TV.
A better way.
We want that. A better way. We want that YouTube TV money. We want that Zoom money.
So
I'll take any money.
What's great for me is I know people watching, they just see the 3 boxes, right?
Right.
But for me, it switches. It was your face. I can see your full face.
Beautiful.
That's all you're looking at right there, baby.
YouTube TV. A better way.
Yeah. Yep.
So the YouTube TV is nice, though. I mean, it does give you access to a lot of those games that any of the game that's going to be a highlight, it's on TV, which is nice. So the Pelicans and Lakers game was on TV, which was fantastic. It was a great game.
Yeah, so that race for 8 is pretty crazy, and it seems like there's only 2 teams in the West that are really, truly out of it, and that is the Warriors, just because they're so far back. Like now that Steph's back tonight, I believe, against the Wizards, but them and the Minnesota Timberwolves, the only 2 teams in the West that are truly out. Kings are right back in it. Suns, they're not dead yet, but I think they're out. My Spurs are probably out, but they're record-wise, they're right there with the rest of them. So there's a lot of people, and I've talked about this a lot at work. People will ask me like why I think there's so many teams fighting for that spot. It's because the draft doesn't look that good. So all these teams that normally tank year after year to get that really like that number 1 pick, everyone was tanking for Zion or Ja last year. There's just no one in the draft this year who people are like, we should play bad for this guy. So if every team in the NBA is trying on a nightly basis, there's a lot of teams that are just floating around that 500 area.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it is, because I'm like, who's going to be number 1? Is it LaMelo? I don't know who. Probably I would take LaMelo.
I feel like it is LaMelo right now, which is funny. By the way, I mean, rewind I mean, season 2 of doing our show, I think we both said no other ball will be in the NBA.
Right.
But he's better than any of his brothers.
Oh, for sure. Well,
Oh,
we got to
okay.
give
Talk
Lonzo
about-
a little
talk
credit.
about-
Like, he actually is.
No, Lonzo's been good. Yeah.
He's getting better. I think once
I don't think
Zion
we've
came
ever-
into the picture, we can truly see what Lonzo can add to that team.
And I think we knew that. I don't think we ever said that Lonzo was. I don't think any of us ever said that Lonzo was bad.
Well, I've been on the show the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep, the entire
And
time. You've been a co-host this entire time.
When he got drafted to LA, obviously I don't like the family drama that they
Yeah.
build around.
Yeah,
it.
nobody does.
But I really wanted to see him be like the next Kobe. I just wanted to see him be awesome. But obviously,
When I think honestly, when LeBron went to LA, I thought Lonzo with him was actually a great matchup.
Yeah.
Lonzo's he's a great passer. He leads in he's one of the leaders in assists every year he's played. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He plays a lot like Steve Nash played, and it's a lot of fun to watch him. I think when he went to the Pelicans, we all kind of thought the same thing, which was like, oh man, him and Zion, that's going to be a match.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good match.
and hopefully
We just haven't got to see it till now.
Well, I mean, so the other thing is now, like, at first I gave the Lakers a hard time for taking him 2 overall, but now we know that draft just wasn't very good. It was Markelle Fultz 1, Lonzo Ball 2, De'Aaron Fox is fine, Jonathan Isaac is fine. Obviously, the best player from it, which me and you did a show during this draft, actually, Derek, and I was saying Jason Tatum then, and it's still Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is the best young player in the league, in my opinion. But
he's still
him and Donovan Mitchell ended up being the 2 guys from that draft, but it was just there were some misses in that draft. It was pretty easy to make the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, I've been trying to find some good mock drafts for this upcoming year, but yeah, I can't find any ones that are I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is the clear cut number 1, which just means that, like, no teams are really tanking.
I just think it's funny because LaMelo took such a alternate route to get there, and we watched. I think you and I both watched the Facebook watch of like the Ball family, and it was like,
you guys watch that?
yeah, I watched it a little bit.
I watched like 5 minutes of Ball in the Family.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, like he seems, you get the drama that goes behind the Ball family, but he, on the show, he seems fine. And then, I remember on the show where like no Ball will be in the league. And then he's really stepped up, and honestly, his alternate route now has ended up being the right route for him.
Right. He went to Australia, the best player there. And I think we talked about this before, but didn't he give his entire contract, like salary, away this year to like the Fires there?
I thought he did.
So he's just playing for free. Because, I mean, the dude knows he's going to be at least a top 3 draft pick. He's not worried about the money.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, his family's rich anyways, too. So.
And Big Baller Brand's back now, baby.
Is it back?
Is this also the same kid that got in trouble at UCLA, too?
He's the one who his brother's the one who dropped out.
The brother, okay.
Yeah. So I think he originally committed to UCLA, and then he never went to college.
That's right.
His
brother
left,
and then he ended up not going either.
Right.
That's right. I do remember that.
It's all coming back.
I think he'll probably be the number 1 pick. I don't know. I mean, at this point, who is it that has the number 1 pick?
Who is the worst team in the league right now? The Wizards?
Is it the Wizards?
I'm just guessing.
Is it always the Wizards?
I actually just assumed that it was the Wizards just because they're one of those teams who they are the worst a lot, but they never actually get the first overall pick.
No.
Like, they'll find a way to screw up the lottery as always, and like Cleveland or someone else will get it.
No, Golden State.
Golden State's the worst. Okay.
God, that's crazy.
They have 12 wins.
Right. So that's what's crazy to think about is, like, do they even want Curry to come back, or do they just want to lock this in? Because, well, and then do they keep the number 1 overall pick? Like, let's think about that too. Like, do they keep it, or do they want a veteran player so they end up trading that number 1 overall pick because they're going to want to win now next year? Like, Clay's going to be back, Curry. Now they have Andrew Wiggins, Draymond. They're going to want to win next year, and it's going to be crazy to see how fast they do turn it back around. But Do they want those 4 playing with some like young dude they're going to have to coach up? Or do you ship the pick, bring in another 26, 27-year-old who's already proven themselves? That's probably what I would do. I don't think I would keep the draft pick.
They're Golden State's 5 games behind all the worst teams.
Who's the other 3?
Minnesota's at 17 wins.
Check.
Cleveland's at 17. New York's at 17.
Yeah, Cleveland will find a way to win the lottery. I don't know how they'll do it, but
that's 5. That's a big spread to try to.
Well, the thing is with those lottery balls though is you can be the 4th or the 5th.
I don't even understand how the lottery thing works.
Well, because the Knicks were the
worst team just gets more balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the Knicks were the worst team last year, and they
never get it.
No.
Yeah, because they missed out on Zion.
I remember they even talked about as a franchise, they talked about when they get the pick, they're going to trade it to the Pelicans. And then
because they liked RJ Barrett, right? Because he's like from New York or he's from Canada originally, but he's he wanted to be in New York, and they thought he might actually. The verdict's still out on RJ Barrett. I want to say he sucks, but he also plays.
Doing good, so.
He also plays for the Knicks, so it's hard to say he actually sucks, but he probably sucks butt.
Sucks butt.
Sucks butt.
Sucks butt.
I need a whiteboard to write it on there.
Yeah, well, and that's fine. But no, I actually watched that Rising Stars challenge during the All-Star break, and he showed up there. I know that's not a good judge of how the guys NBA thing, but he's around a bunch of other really good young players, and he looked better than most of them.
Yeah.
That All-Star weekend was wild. I know we haven't done a show since then, but man, that was probably the nastiest All-Star weekend.
We have, though. We've done every show since then.
You're right. Actually, we've done every show. I guess the topic just got missed.
Yeah. Why would you talk about it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so we probably missed it. I think we were talking about minor league hockey. The Scranton.
The Ontario Reign.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about. So we missed it.
Yep.
I knew. I was there.
You've been there since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows because he's never not been on the show.
Mm-hmm. July. I've been on the show since July.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah.
We've always been on the show. We've always been in the same room.
So you guys were talking about the eighth seed. Do you don't think Memphis can hold on in that spot?
I don't think they do. I'm not going to all the media says is they have the toughest schedule, so it's going to be hard to. It's not just that. Jaren Jackson's hurt, and that's their third, maybe second best player.
Okay.
But I don't know when he's coming back.
Yeah.
But I know we play them a couple times. Pelicans play them a couple times. Blazers play them a couple times. They're playing all the other teams fighting for that spot. So that's what's going to be really cool about the rest of the season is that all those teams fighting for the A spot, Spurs, Pelicans, Grizzlies, Blazers, Kings, I guess, whatever. They're all going to play each other at least, 2 times coming down the stretch. So I don't know who gets it. Top choice Blazers. I wish I could say second choice Spurs, but it's probably the Pelicans. I don't think the Grizzlies hold it.
I don't think so either. It's a tough schedule. The Blazers, I do feel like Dame's going to be back. That's really going to change it. My tone changed a little bit when they lost to the Pacers. Not because of the Pacers at all. I was just man, it's just that's a big game to lose for them, just because they just can't afford a ton of losses at this point. And the games you're going to lose should at least be in the West, where you're playing a lot better teams.
Yeah, but that was I watched that game, and that was the first game since Victor Oladipo's been back where I really felt like his legs weren't underneath him. Pacers they're a regular season great team. They're the way that they play on a night in, night out basis. Most teams don't play that hard in the regular season every night, and the Blazers do. McMillan's a great coach, former Blazers coach actually. They're a gritty team. I also thought that the Blazers were going to win that game. They were up most of it. Melo had a good first 3 quarters. CJ carried the team. He's really starting to embrace the point guard role while Dame's out. But their bench is so depleted. Because all their starters are hurt, so their bench players are now starters, and they don't have anyone left. That's where the game changed. End of the third quarter, Melo and CJ come out. and the Pacers just started going to town. So they'll figure it out. Once Dame's back, that's one less bench player they have as a starter, one more scorer off the bench they'll have. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Well,
you're a Lakers guy, right?
Yeah.
That must be nice.
It's nice because it's been a hard journey the last 8 years.
That's true. I mean,
so I got to watch a team with Dwight Howard, Metta World Peace, Kobe. Who else was on that team that year? Steve Nash.
Ariza maybe before that. He was already gone.
Yeah, I think he was gone. But there was that team that should have been good, right? I don't even think they made the playoffs. I don't remember, but because I was sad because I don't know. But it's so since that year, whatever year, I think it was 2007 or 8 or something.
Oh, that was with Steve Nash, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just
Steve Nash and Dwight Howard.
Metta World Peace, Kobe.
Yep. Should have been a good team.
They had another really big player. Paul Gasol. Powell was still there.
Yeah, Powell's still there.
And that, and I used to go watch every game. I would go to Applebee's. I would always go. I would go find the game. I would go watch it. And then after that fell apart. That was a sad year to watch. And then it's been just a struggle ever since. But now it's okay. LeBron came and I was excited because when he played Golden State in their little Cleveland battles, I was always rooting for Cleveland. So yeah, it's nice though. It's finally nice.
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen in the Western Conference Finals when they meet up with the Clippers. The Clippers are still such a huge question mark, but I do think that's what it comes down to. I think it's those two teams are not only far and away the best teams in the West, but I think they're far and away the best two teams in the league.
But it's do you think anybody's going to be better than Milwaukee?
I think the Lakers and Clippers are both better in Milwaukee. And I actually, hot take, I think the Celtics win the East.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So the way that Jason Tatum's emerged, one, best young player in the league. It's not Luka. It's not Trey. It's none of the other guys. It's Jason Tatum. And since he's taken over that team, that is the team in the East. I don't care if they're undersized. The way that they're built. I don't know who's going to guard Anthony Davis in the finals. But I think we get a classic Lakers-Celtics rivalry game.
I would love that, man. I would love it. And I would love it more because I have a friend who's a Celtics fan and he's a real dick.
Yep, they all are.
And
They're all pieces of shit.
I want to see him. He's just always talking shit about the Bulls. And I just don't like – it's either you love him or hate him, I guess. I don't get it.
What's your friend's name who's a Celtics fan?
Will Wettenbaum.
That is so Will.
Yeah, it's so Will.
That's just so – that's so Will. It's crazy.
So
and then he won't watch the XFL because it's Kmart
amateur hour
in football. It's not Walmart. It's not the big stores. It's not the Transformers. It's the BeetleBots or whatever.
Yes.
And I just don't get it, man, because it's football, man. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, that dude was watching Power Rangers. We were watching Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
Instead. Y'all feel me?
I feel.
Oh
you.
yeah.
Oh, I all the way feel you, dog.
Yeah.
No,
Asher was a big Beetleborgs guy.
He's a huge Beetleborgs guy. I know that about him.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that about him.
No, but you know what? It's just how it is. Almost half of my friends are Celtics fans. They're all dicks.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pieces of shit. They're dirt. They're low.
and they're not even from Boston.
No, none of them are. It's like every Irish person's not from Ireland.
Yeah.
They're
like me.
We love Conor McGregor because we're Irish. Are you?
Yeah, I have Irish descent and I hate the guy. So
yeah,
I love him. I love him.
You love today there's the most boring UFC fight in fucking history. They're doing
Actually, this is a good way to end it. Do you want to give your picks today?
Dude, I don't know because I don't care who's fighting. That's the thing is today's fights, it's Joseph Benavidez for the 125-pound championship. Like human men shouldn't be 5'2" and 125 pounds. So I don't care who wins it. And like I looked at the rest of the card and I get stoked for the ESPN Plus cards. Like I sometimes think they're better than the pay-per-views because they pull a lot of names that I like. I like a lot of the up-and-coming guys. But man, today's just a total dud. And so they were like, how do we make this watchable? Well, let's pretend it's for a 125-pound championship. It's like the guy who has the actual belt never lost it. They're just stripped him of his belt so they could make this a title fight. Like, I don't know.
That seems fair.
That's what they do. So they're like, oh, well, Henry Cejudo is fighting at 135 now, so we're going to make the 125-pound championship up for grabs. Like, I'm not going to watch it. My pick for the fight is who cares?
Easy. Good, because I know nothing about UFC.
Well, that's good. So we don't have to get into it, boys. We don't have to get into it.
I think we could wrap it. I think we could wrap up with a little bit of wrestling talk, though.
Sean, you down?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not current with anything, but I like wrestling.
Well, yesterday was Super Showdown. I'm actually working on starting it, finally getting the show started with Dusty Katzenberger, though, and a co-host from the Time Spent Poorly show, Chris Huds. So we're working on that right now. The show yesterday, though, that was that Saudi Arabia showdown, which is basically like on it. I mean, what time? Like exact 9 a.m.
Yeah,
on a Friday, you can't watch it.
I got like the alert to watch it. I'm like, yeah, or I'm gonna be at work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it tonight at
Right.
some point. I might actually, when I go work on my my homework here, I'm probably gonna watch it while I do that. But I already know how it ended, which is Bill Goldberg. Goldberg won the title from the Fiend Bray Wyatt, which was, I mean, it's a bummer. I like Goldberg. I always will like Goldberg. But, I mean, it was just a bummer to see, like, this young talent get steamrolled again for the sake of Zach, they're setting up. It's Goldberg and Roman Reigns. I watched SmackDown. Or watched
Why is that
SmackDown.
a thing?
I don't know. Because I think they want to get that belt on Roman Reigns again.
That's like the easy way to do it.
Yeah. Because I don't think they want to see that. I don't think they want, even though Reigns is not getting booed out of the stadium like he used to.
Right.
They don't want to see that happen when he beats, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I think Goldberg doesn't care. I mean, he's getting money. So on SmackDown, he got booed. I mean, he got booed so hard for beating, so he's building like this heat because he beat the Fiend. So, they're like, okay, this will be a nice way for Reigns to take the belt back. But it's a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer overall. Vince McMahon is paying too much attention to this. He should be paying attention to XFL, maybe. Big sweaty man.
Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe he's like, I don't know, pick Goldberg. He spears people. I'm into tackling right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting where they went with it. Brock Lesnar fought that guy Ricochet, and it was just a short-lived, quick, just killed him match. I mean, it was just a whatever. That showdown, is such a crappy pay-per-view because it's just blood money, right? They're over in Saudi Arabia. They're just getting money from that market. So
I like how you called it blood money.
What's that?
I like how you called it blood money.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's just blood money. I mean, it's oil money, which is blood money.
Right.
I mean, frankly, there's no way about it. They're a terrible country who does terrible things to people. They do terrible things to their own citizens.
Yeah.
They do terrible things to any media that's over there. It's insane that the WWE even has any kind of relationship with them at all.
But the money.
I mean, I guess the people of Saudi Arabia, I'm all up for them being entertained. I think it's awesome, that they're getting, because it's hot as fuck and there's nothing to do except for sweat. And so they're going to be able to go to these shows and have a great time. I think that's awesome. There's nothing against the people of Saudi Arabia. It's just the WWE is obviously getting a ton of money to have these pay-per-views over there. It's at 9 a.m. So having a big
title
change.
What time their time?
just normal human
Just normal.
being hours.
7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're having these. So to have a huge title change on the card like that was super weird. I got the notification at that at like 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday. Like it was super weird. Like, oh, okay. So I guess that's just a thing.
Because
Like,
no one here got to watch it live. That's like the main reason it's weird.
Yeah.
So it's like you wake up.
Or
and
it wasn't.
find
It was
out.
like Thursday even. It wasn't even like a. I think it was like Thursday because on SmackDown.
It was
they
the
were-
27th. Yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah. So 10 a.m. on a Thursday, I got a notification that the Fiend Bray Wyatt lost his title. I mean, I didn't even get to watch it, which I'm glad I didn't. I think a big indicator is the fact that Bray Wyatt has that weird mask belt, and instead he went out to the match with the actual title. So it's like, okay, he's losing this tonight because Goldberg's not going to wear, the Fiend mask belt. So
I don't think Sean knows what you're talking about. But anyways, the Fiend is.
No, you're painting a good picture.
He's got this Joker mask.
He's really, he has actually like a mask that actually, like, the other day I was walking up my stairs and I thought about him and I ran the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's scary. It looks scary.
Like, oh my God, he's behind me.
Well,
If he was, yeah.
Picture like the lead singer of Slipknot, but his face isn't just like that leather thing, but it looks like the Joker mask too.
Okay.
Like it's weird.
And like dry
Honestly,
leather skin. And
You're talking-
he has a
Roman Reigns?
lantern. He has a lantern made out of his own.
It's his own face.
What are we doing, guys? I mean, I have Google right here.
Yeah, just
But
Google
it's a cool bit. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. His alter ego is like himself, but he's doing like this funhouse thing where he's like a TV's child host. Like it's been really the Fiend Bray Wyatt. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I like the bit a lot. It's honest. It's really refreshing. I think that's
his
what people
funhouse
like it.
stuff is the best part of it.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
I
that mask is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It's really scary. Honestly, it really is.
Well, and so
It's
what he
weird.
does is like all the lights will turn out, and then all of a sudden he'll just like be there, and he fucking like sockos you basically. And
Hell
he just like
the mandible claw.
He acts like you're like a 16-year-old girl, and he's trying to get the poison out of you.
So he looks like the CGI of Croc from a DC movie.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. So it's a cool bit. I mean, I think that's why people like it so much. It's refreshing. We haven't seen anything like this in wrestling before. I mean, like Mankind had a mask, but it was nothing like this.
No.
And I think the part that people are scared about is that the next step for him is if he loses, because he's fighting John Cena at WrestleMania. Like the next step for Bray Wyatt is if he loses to John Cena, is he's going to be relegated to like the same comedy bits that Kane and Mankind have had over towards the end of their career, where it's like just comedy. Like WWE's not funny. It's not funny. None of it's ever been funny. Their comical relief on that show is terrible. It's never been funny. So people are scared of that. And then now it looks like that's how it'll be. And the guy is like, he's like our age. So he shouldn't be losing to a 50-something-year-old Goldberg. Like it just doesn't
Goldberg's old as shit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair. I think for a guy to be like, he's pretty athletically, like, I mean, he's a big guy, so I think a lot of people like that. Like, you don't see that anymore. You don't see Bam Bam Bigelow type guys anymore, except for like Bray Wyatt and I would say like Kevin Owens, like these, like they're kind of big guys, and it's like, oh man, it's cool. It's cool to see like these big guys doing stuff because Vince does love big sweaty men. Like he that's his thing is like this. It's like, wow, he needs to be more muscly, was he? Oh man, he's so fat. Like just
such big nipples.
Yeah, it's huge nipples, and I love that.
I need him to have dinner-sized plate nipples. Put him in the XFL. I don't know. It's just,
Sean, who's winning the XFL game right now?
So the Battlehawks just had a beautiful drive.
Wait, the Battlehawks are already on?
Yeah, they're playing the Dragons.
What?
Yep, they started at 2 o'clock.
So
I was going to say something, but we kept talking.
That's amazing.
Beautiful drive, great touchdown, 2-point conversion.
Nice. Very nice.
He got
Okay.
hit when he made the pass too.
Well, and then the Rockets play the Celtics tonight. And by the way, the Rockets have been absolutely on fire. We've been talking about it every week since they got rid of Clint Capella, and everyone knows we talk about it every week since they got rid of Clint Capella because we've never missed a show since the trade deadline.
Never have. No.
We never have, never will. Sean's always been on it.
Mhm.
But that's going to be an exciting game. Like,
It should
since the Rockets have switched to this, like, it's just them saying "fuck you." Like, that's what the Rocket season's turned into. They're like, "Hey, you have to have a center in the NBA," and the Rockets are like, "Fuck you."
Well,
We're just gonna have the tallest guy on the court be 6'7", and we're gonna shoot a lot of threes, and it's working. And Russell's having the best season since his MVP season.
Yeah.
Well, since last time we were on the show and we talked about we all three of us on the show.
Yeah, when we were together, like probably last week.
When you guys were talking about those power couples that this season became. And one of my favorites was the Harden and Westbrook. I love it.
One, I feel like they've officially become that power couple. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they barely knew each other, and now they're
They never played on a team together.
Not even one time ever.
and now they're
It's
like
like we've been on the same show every week.
it's kind of like how we're becoming like a power.
Through a
Triplet.
power three-way.
Power three-way.
A power triplet.
I've
I've always said that.
I mostly just watch, but
And the ants, with the ants.
but that's what I'm into. So
He watches with the ants.
I like to see what the ants are doing.
You want to know?
Yeah, can we end the show by you telling us an ant update? Ant update. They're dead.
Outro for the show, brought to you once again by our good friends in the band Jody and the Fosters with Asher. Please go like their Facebook page. Thank you for tuning into the show this week. We're back. All kidding aside, we are back at it. Sean's going to join us weekly. That's the plan, Stan. We are live. We are live through Zoom, Zoom.us. It's used for businesses. They do not sponsor the show, but we're going to talk about them because we want them to do. That'd be amazing.
Zoom, we're here for you.
This show was brought to you by Zoom, though, and it was a great deal. And we got all three of us in 3 different cities. Thank you so much for everybody listening to the show. At Derek on TSPN on Twitter, at Quack Swan on Twitter, at Home Run Jack on the Twitter. Make sure you check out Jack's channel on YouTube, Home Run Jack. Make sure are you on Twitch too? Is that where you're at?
Yep. Same name.
Twitch.tv, Home Run Jack. He does beer reviews, all types of reviews, honestly. They're great. A lot of fun.
We call it spirit reviews now, just spirits.
Oh, spirit reviews, okay.
And you got some hot wing stuff going on.
Yeah. That sucked.
Thank you, everybody. You have a great weekend. We will be back next week about noon. That's what we do. We've always have, and Sean's always been on the show. So
yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. You big sweaty men.
Go Battlehawks.
I think you got it in before you quit.
I think we did.